Ladies and gentlemen, it's a smooth 70 degrees outside. I cannot find the Stephen A. Smith tour tickets anywhere on Ticketmaster. Opening day is here, and we are back to give you the real in sports. I'm your co host, EP, joined by Wade Julian. He's in New York City. I'm in Atlanta. You are now tuned in to your number one sports talk show on the All Things Sports Network. Ticker up top, brought to you by ESPN Bet. Very accurate. June, it's opening day. How are
Yes,
you
sir.
feeling?
Hey, man, like you said, bro, it's about 70 degrees. Maybe in Atlanta, it's definitely a little cooler down here, or up here, I should say, in New York City. We're at like 51. 51, though, still a win, still a win. So, uh, opening day is here. We got baseball weather for the most part, and yeah, man, just excited to see what this season brings because it's been a few years that I'm this eager to watch Red Sox baseball from start to finish, and so we're here now. I'm excited to see what they can bring for us this season. What about you, bro?
Hey man, eh, I ain't gonna lie. I got the double monitor thing set up. I may or may not have the Yankee game right now set up on the other monitor. You know what I mean? Opening day vibes. It's beautiful in Atlanta. I spent the morning, running around the city a little bit. Saw some new parts I haven't seen before, so it was cool, man. I can't complain. Um,
Awesome.
there's a lot going on, man. Like I said, opening day we got Sweet 16 tonight as
Yeah,
well. We got a bunch of
dude.
yeah, a bunch of hockey games tonight. Obviously, a bunch of MLB games throughout the day. We even got some NBA scheduled later in the evening,
Yeah,
starting at the
like eight
7 o'clock
games.
hour. So the sports gods have blessed us with a plethora of game time to watch. But before that, before we get into opening day, Sweet 16, any of that, LeBron James versus Stephen A. Smith, and I kind of feel like this is getting out of hand, June.
Yeah.
Uh, I know what's going on. I just don't understand why it's going on. For the ignorant viewer and listener like myself, June, can you break down this Stephen A. Smith and LeBron beef and what's transpired in the last 36 hours? Call it.
I mean, obviously everybody should know by this time at least that they had the incident on court when LeBron during the game went up to Stephen A and confronted him about how he felt, leave my son out of it, like uh I guess in terms of when he talks about Bronny, keep it basketball. It was a very much father to man conversation versus athlete to reporter conversation based on Stephen A. Smith's, I guess, review because he's done this review tour now. He went to First Take and told his story. He then went to his Stephen A. Smith show on YouTube and told more. He also went on Gilbert Arenas podcast and might have stopped somewhere else, not sure. But nonetheless, he got his side across. And LeBron James now, yesterday, goes on Pat McAfee's show, yesterday being the 26th of March. And he kind of, I'm only 28 minutes in. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm only about half an hour in. We're still at the part where, LeBron is talking about his upbringing and how shit just kind of changed all of a sudden and how the NBA and the media per se had to kind of find a way to ridicule or find something negative to say about his career because up until that point, right before he went to Miami and did the decision on ESPN, everything was picture perfect. Everything is still picture perfect in a career athletes having to join forces. All that is like the made up narrative around it, but as an athlete, as a star child, as a product, LeBron James has done nothing short of greatness. And so the decision was, I guess, the media's way to paint him like, oh, look, this guy wants to make it all about himself, and run with that. And so he's never really been too fond of them since that. And then he went on to go and say how, guys on guys that are covering basketball aren't really the smartest people, and a lot of guys that did play basketball that are covering it now really play basketball because of their athleticism and skill, not because of their brain. And he's able to play and perform at this level because of his his mind. He does a lot with that, and he definitely discredited the minds of those that cover the sport at the highest point. So yeah, right now there's a rift between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron. Obviously, with First Take being a 10 a.m. show on ESPN, 2 hours long, Stephen A. Smith has to come back and let us know what's going on. So he then went and responded on First Take this morning, letting us know, LeBron, I ain't want to go there. I ain't want to go there. But since we're here, and so we're at that point now. And I don't know if this is going to turn into your wife, I don't
No.
know. But before it does, just wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch the whole Stephen A. Smith. I don't even pay much attention to First Take, and that's no disrespect to Stephen A. Smith. He's someone that I look up to. He's someone that I've watched my whole life, growing up, and I have a lot of respect for. I would love to meet him and be able to talk to him for a couple hours. Has nothing to do with the fact that I also understand there's a side of it that I don't have to appreciate and I don't have to like about him. And that's what we're seeing right now. So, unfortunately, Braun finally spoke his mind for the first time in forever. I've never seen LeBron on an interview like this in depth. He's had some sit downs maybe with Rachel Nichols or so in the past, but really, really for an hour, we got to see unfiltered LeBron James. And that's what I'm happy about from this whole situation. I'm glad Stephen A. kind of got him outside and got him in his bag to want to talk his shit, because I'm not here for the drama. I'm not here for LeBron dissing Stephen A. and then Stephen A. going back and retaliating and saying something. Who cares about two 40-plus-year-old men mad at each other, right? I'm the fan of LeBron James, who is interested to hear his broadened perspective on all these topics in an unfiltered manner. So that was what I could have taken away from it that I was happy for. But all this little extra shit, man, Stephen A. got to pack it up, bro. Like you really too big in the sports industry to be acting a certain way. And when it comes to LeBron, man, it seems like people's skin just I guess itch a little more when it comes to him. So I don't know what have you made of what you've seen transpire between the last, I guess, 3 weeks now.
Ugh. Uh, Two grown men bickering and going back and forth in the public eye. I just
Yeah,
it's just never a good look, especially when both of them in their respective careers um, and occupations are the epitome of that career and
right,
occupation. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, all this is, I don't want to say it's getting blown out of proportion, because I watched about probably like a 20-minute clip of the LeBron and McAfee, and we finally, like you said, got LeBron's side or point of view of the story,
right,
and where he spoke about the duty that he felt he had, not just to his family but to players, to the Players Association, to everybody that's a part of the league. To make sure that broadcasters and commentators are kept in check and not making things personal. So
yep,
like I understand that. I can imagine and can try to understand the father aspect of it, and Bronny being his literal blood son, and having to play that fatherly role as opposed to that teammate role.
right,
But the grown men back and forth bickering is just not a good look in the public eye. It's entertaining. I'm not gonna say it's not entertaining, because I mean we watched it because it's entertaining.
yeah,
Like that's why we're tapped in. But I'm not invested in it personally. I know it's the talk of the town right now, and
definitely.
we definitely had to speak about it. Definitely had to speak about it. All right, MLB, right? Reset, like a little etch a sketch. Let's take the etch a sketch and reset the whole thing.
Y'all see
MLB,
that?
yeah. I like that Red Sox. I ain't gonna hold you.
Appreciate that.
I ain't gonna
Appreciate
hold
that.
you.
Appreciate that.
I got the Yankee game posted up on me right in front of me right now. The other game that's live right now is Orioles in Toronto against the Blue Jays. And Twins and Cardinals are in a rain delay right now, top of the first in St.
Yeah.
Louis. Orioles, end of the first, up 1-0. Low scoring game so far. A lot of good games later on in the day. I want to start opening day with a ticket, June, for a 4 o'clock parlay. Here we go. 4 o'clock, Angels versus White Sox, under 4.5 in the first five. Pittsburgh Pirates money line. That's right. Fade the Marlins. What is new? And the Nerfy, no runs in the first inning in the Phillies and Nationals game. give you about plus 370, 100 to win 370. I'm official on that right now. I like the parlay a lot. Opening day, I'm usually pretty good at opening day, first couple
Yeah,
months of the
yeah,
season.
I'll
You know what I
give you
mean?
that one. I got to write that one down, bro.
I will say all those games do go live in the next 15, 20 minutes. So if you want to get that in and you're tapped on the live right now, tap in, lock in, try and make some money. June, your Boston Red Sox are at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas today to take on the Rangers. Garrett Crochet
Yeah,
is on the mound
yeah,
for you guys versus Nate Evaldi, who once was on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. You're excited to watch your opening day game today, June?
of course, of course. Um, it's also I want to give credit to Nasty Nate. You know what I'm saying? And he is a 2018 World Series champion with the Red Sox. Has since found a new home, and what he's been able to do in Texas is nothing short of impressive. I believe he was there when they won that World Series. I
Yeah, I
could be
believe it
wrong.
was. I believe it
I believe
was.
he was, and now he is here 6 years later or so. Opening day starter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a credit to who he is and what he brings to the game. So shout out to him. But man, these Red Sox, man, we it's special. It's special. I pointed it out in the beginning of the show where I haven't been this excited during an off season and on opening day to see what the outcome of the season could possibly be this year because for the first time in a few years, it feels like we have a legitimate shot to make some noise in the postseason. We have Jaron Duran, coming back after an amazing year last year, breakout year, All Star MVP, leading off. We got Rafi Devers, who after I kind of was a little nervous with the whole Cora Bregman Devers third base situation. Um, when it comes to winning, you have to do be willing to do anything for the team. And I'm so proud and excited and glad to have a guy like Alex Cora coming back and managing us. I mean, he came from Houston. We all know what they had going on over there. He brings a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying? But they also won, and they had a winning culture, so he brings some of that as well. Him as a player was a great player, and I think he's just become that much better of a manager who's not afraid to tell it the way it is, who's going to put his players in the best positions to win. And we've seen that with his World Series managing. So him putting the lineup together with Bregman in there, Devers in there, you're going to get Duran. You got Kristen Campbell, our rookie second baseman, who was just called up, and he's going to make his debut today, hitting six hole. I mean, it's a lot to be excited about if you're a Boston Red Sox fan. Tristan Casas, and our pitching staff. You mentioned Garrett Crochet. We're still at a numbers game with him. Like we got to sign him long term, and hopefully we can work that out. Um, but it don't stop there. I mean, we signed Walker Bueller. We got some guys. Aroldis Chapman. For however you feel about him, I mean, hey, I cheer for who's on the Red Sox, and hopefully he can get his big one closing things out this season. So if let's be honest, if he sucks, I will crucify him. All right, I have no problem doing so, but I will root for him uh, as he is a Boston Red Sox.
See, you guys got Bueller on Saturday, game
Yeah,
3 against Texas in Texas. That'll be an interesting game versus Tyler Mahle, former Tampa Bay Ray, if I'm not mistaken. He was in Tampa Bay
Maley,
for a little bit. Could be not. Hey, I've been on the Fire Boone train for probably the better
Sten
half
Boone,
of
huh?
2 seasons. We extend Boone. And he does something different today. He switches up the leadoff. He puts a catcher in the one hole. Austin Wells. When I saw that, I'm watching the warm up, obviously, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, first Yankee ever, catcher ever to lead off. And I was like, wait, what are we doing? What is going on? Followed by Judge and Coley Bettinger. And I was like, what are we doing? And homie walks up and he sends 1 yard. Opening day.
Yeah,
First Yankee to hit a leadoff
yeah,
home run on opening day.
right there to
So
the short porch.
thank God we're at Yankee Stadium because that's a catchable
That's
ball
an out.
anywhere else.
That's a
Homeboy would have robbed that anywhere else. But hey, we're doing something different. It's a 162 game season, so I'm not gonna get too excited. But I'm glad that we're stepping a little bit out of our comfort zone. I guess maybe it started with the facial hair restrictions being
Yeah,
lifted, like
right,
COVID bans.
right.
And now we got to catch her into one hole. So hey, we'll see, man. Up 2-1 in the bottom of the third. They got Reese Hoskins. I really like when they put the shortstop in an interview in the middle of an inning while he's playing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's so authentic. But on the other side of that, I'm like, yo, if I'm that shortstop and I get the call like, hey, you're gonna be on, on with the announcers in the third inning, I'm just
Like,
like, bro,
bro,
leave me alone, bro. Like, it's opening day.
because
I'm not.
you have to imagine, like, I think baseball is probably the only sport you can really do this major out of the major sports here,
Nah, for sure.
um, because as a football player, I mean, there's way too much responsibility. There's way too much things to be on cue with timing. I don't think coaches letting anybody put a microphone with motherfucking broadcasters speaking in your ear about some bullshit. That's not happening. Basketball, same thing. Like, it's even so odd when you go to the basketball court and there's that guy playing with headphones and you're just like, all right. I mean, I guess keep your head up. I'll be open. Um, but baseball, it's very individual. As much
Yeah.
as it's a team sport, it's very individual, and it's a slower paced thing. It's not guaranteed to come your way every time. Like, I still wonder though if any coaches or managers in the league have any type of feelings or ill feelings toward like that interview mid game, because it essentially takes your focus off the game. Like,
Yeah.
you're expected to perform and do your say something that triggers a thought, and you just kind of snap out of it for a second and you lose your grounding, and I don't know, we haven't experienced that, which probably proves that, yeah, baseball is just the best place to do it and you'll be fine. But I do think it's a little crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a mid-game interview, and we're basically telling the viewers that he's not all the way focused right now. But I'm still for it.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Keep it up. Keep it up. It's like it's like the on-field view that they give us during NFL games. Like, don't take it
Yeah,
away. I as a fan, I appreciate it. But as a player, I could imagine that could be a bit annoying. Hey, Paul Skeens, Sandy Alcantara. Let me say that right.
Alcantara.
Alcantara, Lone Depot Park, 4:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, this is going to be a duel. I hope. Sandy coming off Tommy John. Um, this is like a 50-50. We've seen players come back from Tommy John and,
Yeah,
look like year one, and we've seen players not be able to come back from Tommy John. What are you expecting from Sandy this season, June?
I just want to one, like you just mentioned, Tommy John is, it's an unfortunate injury. When you see a guy go down with that, it's like, we don't know. Uh, I guess with the way that the day and age is progressing, and guys are more bionic than they ever have been. Yeah, I think he'll come back and be fine and do well. I'm just hoping that he can maintain, that arm strength, because he really throws some heat, and if he kind of can't have that command and that heat, I don't know if he's going to be the pitcher that we once knew him as. But I'll say this: I do think he bounces back and performs as he should. This should be a low scoring game. We'll probably get a good pitcher's duel today. Um, Rookie of the year versus one of the guys who was expected to kind of have more of a breakout than he has, but injuries have riddled that.
We got a good amount of, honestly, great pitching duels today. Chris Holmes, Framber Valdez in the Mets and Astros game, Chris Sale and Matt King in the Braves and Padres game, Tyler Screwball, Blake Snell, I mean, Zach Gallen, Justin Steele in the Cubs and
Yeah.
Diamondbacks game. Any games in particular you're looking forward to tapping into today, June?
Um, I mean, obviously, aside from that Red Sox game, I do think I'm excited to see that Cubs Diamondbacks game, see what Zach Gallen bringing, because the Cubs, they're at this weird point where the Cubs are not a great team. They're not going to compete for a World Series pennant, but they're not the worst team, and they got talent on that team. Nico, Steele. My thing is, they played the Dodgers in Tokyo. I get it. I want to see what you guys do. You know what I'm saying? Like regular road game, you guys will go to the Chase Stadium, Chase Field, and you guys got Zach Gallen. You know, so what can we bring tonight? And I'm looking for them to show more than they did when they were in Japan, because they had played some winnable baseball over there. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but you know we give them that benefit of the doubt with the Dodgers being that team. And then, ironically, I do want to watch that uh Scooble and Snell duel. I think the Dodgers versus Tigers, that might be the best pitching matchup we got today. I mean, Alcantara and Skeens is arguably the best pitching matchup because of who Skeens is and what he's becoming. Alcantara's hype, but from what we know, what we got here, I mean, Scooble and Snell and the Tigers, they just kind of got that excitement around them this year. I think that there's and that's another NL Central team if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right?
AL
And
Central, AL
so
Central.
AL Central, fuck. So this will be we got interleague baseball. I was wondering because I'm like, yo, we got interleague baseball mad early. Like that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do we have any other interleague games?
Cubs Diamond. Nope,
Angels, White
no.
Sox, no, nah. We got
No.
that's the only interleague game. So I'm like, that's yeah. I was a little thrown off. I was like, I know they're a Central team, but I'm like, NL Central. Wait, um, I'm excited to see what the Dodgers are gonna do because who don't want to turn on a game and see what Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman are ready to hit. But all in all, I'm gonna say this. Look, it's opening day. We could talk about all this excitement. I mean, the hype is gonna die down within a month and a half. You know, it'll be regular day baseball on, and we'll kind of just ebbs and flows. We'll go through the season, but this season should be a really exciting season for a lot of teams. I think we're going to see uh, similar to college football, where there was just more parity this year and different teams kind of contending and in it. I do believe that with the contenders that we know, alongside those that kind of always close to contention. We're going to see a couple more teams this year slide up. We talked about Terry Francona, and going to Cincinnati. I think that's another team to be excited for, um, and possibly see them uh, try to lock in that wild card. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy to
Yeah.
think, but yo, Ellie De La Cruz and what one baseball player can do for an organization goes a long way. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Logan Webb. I like to watch him pitch. I think his stuff is up there for sure. And that Hunter Green matchup with Logan Webb,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going to be a good one. And like you said, Terry Francona, I'm excited to see what this new Reds organization and squad looks like under the helm of Terry Francona. Hey, Jose Barrios got out of a jam in the top of the second. He had runners on the corners and no outs.
mm,
Didn't let a run get across. It
mm,
is still 2-0 in the bottom of the second in Toronto. Orioles are up. Hey, opening day, enjoy it.
yeah,
As the viewers can see, I'm sipping early and
yeah, a
shit.
little
You know what
bit.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man, it's a feeling like no other to be able to watch these games today. Whew, Sweet 16, June. I'm gonna be outside tonight, and I'm probably gonna put the flag jersey on this evening.
Mm,
Yeah, it'll look nice. It'll look nice.
mm.
We got a couple of games this evening, June. Obviously, Arizona Duke. I don't know if you saw the video on social media of Caleb Love walking down the street, and one of those YouTube
Nah,
dudes or Instagram person that was like, "Yo, isn't that 5th year senior or 6th year senior that hasn't graduated yet?"
nah, bullying the kids is crazy.
Believe the kids is crazy. The line is Duke minus 9.5. It moved a point from the 8.5 that it was the other day. We got BYU, Alabama, Maryland, Florida, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Obviously, the Duke game it's personal. It's definitely personal with Caleb Love being over there right now. June, before we deep dive a little bit into the Arizona and Duke matchup at 9:39 Eastern Standard Time, Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Right before that, BYU and Alabama step on the same court. Alabama minus 4.5. Both teams have had some pretty consistent, pretty neat runs. Who do you think comes out on top in this matchup between BYU and Alabama?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Alabama. I think BYU is a great contender. Uh, what they've been able to do is special. We saw them slip past Wisconsin, right? Um, and as a six seed, I respect it. I respect it. I do think Alabama is a much better team than Wisconsin, and I don't believe that BYU is going to be able to control the game as much as they were when they played Wisconsin. So yeah, give me Alabama. Alabama's at -4.5. Like they know it's going to be a good game. It's going to be close, and we could see Bama fall today. But I think Alabama's the better team tonight. They'll come out with the energy to match that. SEC basketball is kind of doing something right now. So I just want to step back and watch while we got Bama, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, just still trying to run it. Ole Miss, right? Still trying to run shit. So Arkansas. Well, I look at this and I'm like, I gotta go SEC. I'm picking SEC here. Muted, boy. You're muted, my boy.
And gotta go SEC. June says, "Hey, I agree. SEC is looking to dominate both football and basketball at this point. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going on over there,
yeah.
um, but they're looking to dominate both football and basketball. This Florida game is interesting to me, with Florida being -6.5. I think that it's not enough points. I
Mm.
think that Florida rolls tonight. I think Maryland got lucky, got was unlucky throughout the season, got lucky the other night, and I think the buck stops with these Gators at the Chase Center in San Francisco this evening, 7:39 Eastern Standard Time. You can watch on TBS and True TV. Whew, it's -300 on the money line. I'm not going to tell no one to take Florida on the money line because it's March and anything can happen, June. Do you think that Maryland can cover those 6 points?
Thinking about how Florida played great against UConn, those national championship defenders, and Maryland kind of having to get through. Uh, was that Colorado State? Yeah, Colorado State. Yeah, I think we could see this one easily as a 9 point, 10 point victory for Florida with Walter Clayton Jr. What he's doing over there. Shout out to my boy Derek Queen. Derek Queen's Derek Queen got a Dairy Queen sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
DQ. Shout out to my boy DQ. Shout out to the fam. But yeah, man, I don't know that that's enough. He's averaging a cool 19 and 9, I think 16 and 9, if I'm not mistaken, 16 and 9. But I don't think that's going to be enough. With Florida's being able to bring every night, it's constant pressure. Yeah, give me Florida there. Florida to me goes in as the going to the Final Four.
Whew. The late night game on the West Coast at the Chase Center in San Francisco, Arkansas, Texas Tech, -5.
I man, to be honest, bro, I'm looking at this and impressively, like I said, last game, they were able to stuff the paint, right? Force the threes. With Texas Tech, I don't know that you want to necessarily do that. This isn't St. John, right? St. John's definitely a different beast, or Texas Tech definitely a different beast when it comes to shooting. And I don't know if you give them that opportunity that they're not going to take advantage of it. I do think Arkansas wins tonight. You asked me how I think they're going to do it. I don't really got all the answers, Sway. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not. But with confidence, with great coaching, and an X factor player, there's got to be somebody that steps up tonight. Whether it's Wagner, whether it's Boogie Flan, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Young Bull. Somebody's gonna have to step up. And I can see it. Texas Tech, man, let's not forget who they are and what they, have been able to accomplish in the last 5 or 10 years in this tournament, So But like I said, I'm rolling with SEC basketball.
There it is. There it is. Ooh, hey, it could be, that former Florida Atlantic Hour, John L. Davis. He could just, take off for Arkansas tonight as well. You never know. Mans was, balling at FAU, went over to Arkansas and has become a role player on a not that FAU wasn't winning, because they were, obviously it was the Final Four, but become a role player on another winning team, right? Who and that late night Arizona Duke moved from 8.5 points to 9.5 point favorites. This is Newark, New Jersey. As I mentioned, Caleb Love, when he was at North Carolina, he put the dagger in. He put the
Yeah,
dagger in the Final
yeah,
Four in Coach K's final season, and it stung for sure. It stung,
definitely.
but 9.5 points for this
It's not
against this
enough.
area, it's not
It's not
enough,
enough.
June. Damn.
You think it's a lot?
I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. I think Duke
I think Duke
prevails.
has been. I think Duke has been the most dominant team in college basketball all season. I think Duke has been winning by 18 a game. I think Duke has the confidence skyrocketed out of the world right now. I think Duke knows Caleb Love is the starting guard on that team. I think there's a lot that's going to go into proving why the numbers say what the numbers say. Because yes, this is an amazing matchup. This is a great matchup. Arizona's a great. We're going to see tonight what separates the really good teams from the actually great teams, the championship contending teams. And Duke is hopefully, we're going to get that Tyrese Proctor that we saw on Saturday. Hopefully, we can get a little bit of that Con Kneppel. If Malawak is holding down the paint, staying out of foul trouble, making things hard for those guards to get in there, and because Caleb Love likes to attack the rim,
Yes,
he likes
sir.
to get downhill, and he's really good at it. So you gotta stay in front of him. Our guards got to be on there. James Flag has got to play up, but can we stay out of foul trouble? And if we do, I really like our chances at another 12-point victory or so. I do. Because I don't my thing is Duke is very good and versatile, and we got a bunch of guys who can contribute. If Arizona can keep up for 3 quarters of the game, that's not the full game. And so I don't know that they have enough to just stay with this version of this Duke team, because yeah, maybe if this was Arizona versus Duke in December, or like mid-January, like, all right, yeah, Arizona, we got a tough game. It's gonna be good tonight, EP man. I don't know, that 9.5 looks a little crazy. We'll probably beat them by 5. Nah, bro, this is the tournament, bro. This is win or go home. This is a guy that sent you home before. It is, and you can say what you want, but all of that is on the line tonight. Tonight,
Mm-hmm.
it's not tomorrow. It's not this weekend. It's Thursday night. Do you want to advance to the Elite Eight by the weekend? Because
Or
if
not.
you gotta handle this shit tonight, and it's just that real. So yeah, give me Duke by at least 10. I got Duke -10. I should
Ooh.
go put a little bet in Duke -10, buy some points, or that's not buying points. That's like getting extra? I don't know what the
Nah, you're buying
terminology
points.
is. All right,
You're buying it down. You're buying it down.
yeah, I buy. I gotta learn how to tell the bookie. Buy, but buy down. But I want more. I want to win by more. Yeah. Yeah. Give me Duke.
Let's go.
I think Auburn wins tonight. Michigan. It was a good run. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna see the better basketball team. That's what this is gonna come down to tonight. Michigan is not in Auburn's world. And Michigan, I did say last episode on Monday that they have been a good college basketball team. They've gone deep in the tournaments, but they have met. This is just Duke versus Arizona again. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Yep.
Michigan, great team. They had a guy Pippen. He was pretty good. He left, or he's still there. Sorry, I'm kidding. But yeah, let me get Auburn. I think Auburn just shows us again why they're arguably the number one team in the country, if not just right there too.
Yo, Kentucky, Tennessee for the third time. Kentucky has won both regular season matchups, once by 5, once by 11. Yet the books got Tennessee at -4.5 tomorrow, June. What do you make of this? Is Tennessee getting swept, or are they moving on to the Elite Eight?
Hey, I got UK in this one, and I don't know how it's gonna
Woo!
pan out. I don't. I got UK in this one. This is more of like a you got me. I kind of rock with the. First of all, it's SEC, so I ain't losing either way. SEC is gonna come out of this one victorious. But I don't know, man. We saw this same Tennessee team go and beat Auburn, right, in the tournament,
Yeah.
in the SEC tournament. And so last year we saw what they were able to do with Connect. I don't know who their Dalton Connect is this year. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have to get buckets if he wants to beat UK. So I'll leave it there. I'm really up in the air with this one, but I took the Big Blue Nation because that's kind of what I know. I'm not comfortable taking Tennessee here, but I'm not gonna say Tennessee can't win this game. I do think it'll be a close one. And what is the spread on that one?
The spread on that game is Tennessee. I was just looking at minus
It's
four and a
like
half.
close.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's minus. It's. They're saying over a possession. It's a more than a one
Yeah, right.
possession game.
The foul game, the free throw game.
Ooh, the last two games that we haven't talked about: Houston, Purdue, Ole Miss, Michigan State. Hey, I got Michigan State advancing, and I'm gonna go Houston advancing. How do you like those last two games we haven't spoken about yet?
So I did my picks earlier. And it's funny. I'm look. I literally have my picks here. We've talked about these teams. We talked about these teams. My pick was Ole Miss. And
Hmm.
I like what they did in the second round more than what I like over Michigan State in the second round.
Hey, they struggled against New
And
Mexico.
yeah, and it's game by game in this. This is you can't get caught up, and that's probably why you have more of a clear mind on this specific game. Because I was a little confused here. I didn't know who I wanted, who I liked, but I kind of based this one SEC basketball and based on
Mm.
the second round, and so I came up with Ole Miss. Um, Michigan State though as a 2 seed should we expect them to take this game. I think this will be a fun one. This game is tomorrow, right? 7 o'clock. They tip off
Yeah.
tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Uh, whew. I'll go Ole Miss for shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? You got MSU. You've been more of the accurate uh, guy here when it comes to taking teams in this tournament, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Hmm. Hey man, one thing's for sure. It's going to be a great Elite Eight Final Four championship. Last couple of rounds in this tournament today and tomorrow are the Sweet 16. June, you got anything else you want to go over before we get up out of here?
Yo, don't forget to enjoy opening day baseball. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, we only get it once a year, right? Even the second game of the first series is not opening day, right? Enjoy the fucking day. If you have T-Mobile, they're giving you MLB TV for free. This is not a paid promotion. This is me, a sports fan, a sports podcaster trying to tell other sports viewers and fans and listeners to obtain this free offer because guess what? Not everything in life is free. And when they give free, you got to take it. You even got to take it when they don't give it for free. So
Nah,
take it when
facts.
it's free for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's how we done.
Facts. Anyone that tailed the parlay that I mentioned that I sent out, the Phillies and Nationals Nerfy
Oh,
did
okay, let's
cash.
go. I was like, oh shit.
Phillies. This nigga's like, damn, it happened again. Uh,
Live on stream.
Phillies and Nationals Nerfy did cash. The under 4.5 in the first five of the Angels and White Sox game right now is looking good. We got out of a little bit of a jam in the top of the first with runners on the corners and no outs, but it's still 0-0 going into the bottom of the
Let's
first.
go.
And the Pirates and Marlins game, that's a long haul. That's
Yeah,
not a Murphy.
yeah,
That's
you
not the
gotta.
first five. That's
Yeah,
nine full innings. I do think that if Sandy doesn't get rocked in the first 5 innings, then the bullpen's gonna come up and ruin his dub.
Yeah.
So and Paul's Keys will probably go like 7 today because he can. It's opening day.
Yes,
They're probably
opening
gonna let
day.
him.
You gotta respect that. He's young. He's young.
You know what I mean? Um, damn. Hey, SGA. You know what, June?
I'll try to tell you, dog.
You know what,
Try
June?
to tell you, dog.
Yeah. Hey,
On
let's go ahead and hand him the MVP, man. He would be second in scoring if we only counted his scoring through the third quarter. Through the third quarter. And also in 41 of the 50 U.S. states, the highest paid public employee is some type of college coach in the USA. I'm in the wrong profession apparently. I'm not sure. Hey, you've been coaching. You know, you coached the little kids, man. You should.
I'll fuck around and move to Mississippi for that bag, man. Shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Hey, shout out to everybody tapped in the chat, bro. Like those motherfuckers in the DY3.
Facts.
Lou, we see you. G
man.
was popping. Day 1, let's go. Opening day. DY3 saying Red Sox a bunch of times. Red Sox first 5. I hear you. I see you. I'm not touching the game. I wouldn't touch it with my money, your money, June, or his money. But hey, if anybody likes it, take Boston in the first 5. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we cross over this 44-minute mark, this has been your opening day MLB 2025 All Things Sports podcast. If you tapped in the live, thank you so much. If you're tuning in after the fact, we appreciate you taking time out of your day. We will see you all on Monday. As always, follow, like, subscribe, ATS Pod on Twitter, ATS Pod Official on Instagram. Peace.